Once we have the information on our venture's specific dimensions of competitive differentiation to inform our growth objectives, that is, we have updated our initial beliefs concerning why customers do or would like to use our specific offerings, we can refine our options for growth and either validate our original assumptions or adapt them. But we still need a way to translate what each growth option implies for our venture. Indeed, we need to better grasp what the path to growth will be for each option before we ultimately select a specific path. To do this, we will use a 2x2 growth path matrix, with one axis representing existing versus new market segments, the who part, and the other representing existing versus new offerings, the what part. This gives us 4 key categories where growth options bolster your venture's competitiveness either due to 1. The ability to deliver the core offering in a more efficient and effective way, for example, through cost leadership. 2. An expansion of what you offer to the current market segment. 3. An expansion of what you're currently offering into an adjacent market segment or geography, for example. Or 4. A transformation of what you offer and who you offer it to. Each different option naturally implies a different focus, which means that they may alter our conceptualization of the current state of our strategic dimensions: what, who, and how. Let's start with the optimization of your current offerings. The driver of this could be achieving a cost leadership advantage over other competitors by taking actions to lower costs of inputs required to deliver the current set of outputs. For example, the most straightforward interpretation of this would be finding ways to make labor more productive. This could be through the identification of standard work or by automating some aspect of a process. It could also be finding ways to obtain better information. Indeed, if you are an insurance provider, let's say, and you have information that provides a more accurate risk assessment for some population, this clearly is a better input. The important takeaway here is that this growth path requires you to focus your attention on making your venture more efficient at what it does right now. Indeed, in many cases, this is the critical step of finding a way to efficiently scale your venture. This implies a focus on how the current offerings, the what part again, satisfy the needs of the current customers, the who part. Importantly, this growth option means that your venture or business seeks to remain with the current customer segments and the current offerings. Likewise, this means that if only marginal changes, if at all, if any, should occur with regard to the venture's business model, the how, we take them into account. Moving on to expansion or differentiation of what you offer. Clearly, this growth path implies that you will change what you offer in some way. In other words, you may add alternative products or service offerings that fundamentally alter what your venture offers to the same set of customers. This could take place through the expansion of your current offering. This option may not simply expand the offering of what the venture currently offers, though. Rather, it could imply that you want to offer another product to the same set of customers. Obviously, any change to what your venture seeks to offer requires modifications and innovations in the way your venture or business delivers. And they could have implications on the perceptions your customers have of your venture, the why part. For example, moving from stainless steel components to plastic ones and removing a warranty feature may, or may not, change the perceptions of your customers, even those who purchase the high-quality products. Yet, beyond perceptions, this growth option clearly implies some level of innovation activity in terms of the developments of your new product or service offering and how it is marketed. So the focus of the founder is to identify synergies in their production, product development, marketing efforts and processes that contains the input costs while achieving scale in the output revenues. The path of expansion in terms of who you offer your product to is similar in the sense that it represents some pivot of the current offering. Whereas the previous growth path represents fixing who you offer your product to and expanding the what part, this growth path suggests leaving the what part largely the same and expanding, changing the who part. This growth option may also alter how our current customers perceive our products. And pursuing this path implies a focus on marketing efforts and relationship building. For example, The channels the product may be sold through to reach different types of customers, industrial customers, are probably very different than those the venture would currently have relationships with to reach household consumers. So both this and the previous growth path may imply slight changes to the business model, yet importantly, these changes are not complete redefinitions. They represent more incremental changes that could nevertheless yield large benefits for your venture. Finally, let's consider growing through a transformation in what you offer and who it is offered to. Clearly, this option implies a total redefinition of all the current strategic dimensions, and therefore it translates to a redefinition of the business model itself. To support such transformational changes, companies must engage in extensive innovation with respect to their products, governance, and structure. Indeed, simultaneously changing who and what is akin to launching an entirely new venture. For this reason, this option often represents a longer-term objective that requires you to really think of how you should get there. In other words, to get from a current offering and market to a new offering and a new market, which option should you explore first? Should you expand your current offering to a new market and then, armed with the learnings from this endeavor, develop a new offering in that market? Or alternatively, first expand the current offering, perhaps with slight changes such as the color of the exterior, to your existing customer base, and then seek to take these new offerings into an expanded market. These are the critical questions.